As you listen to these words, notice how comfortable you're becoming, effortlessly relaxing, with each breath becoming smoother and deeper, allowing you to simply focus. And as you focus, you begin to notice how your mind becomes clearer, more relaxed, more open to these new beliefs, new patterns of thinking, so easily absorbed that your mind doesn't even need to think about it. It just happens naturally. As you continue to listen, notice how the words that you hear, they're connecting to the part of you that already knows how to remain calm. You've already experienced this calm before, haven't you? In moments where you didn't try to force anything, when you allowed yourself to just be. Imagine how you can always return to this feeling just by thinking about it, by remembering that calm is a natural state. Let's talk about how your beliefs shape your reality, how your thoughts and your feelings, they influence everything that happens to you. You know this already, don't you? In fact, you might have experienced moments where you simply let go of stress, let go of worry, and just knew everything would be okay. Optimism is like that, a belief that positive outcomes are possible. The resilience always leads to growth. Imagine yourself in a situation. Maybe it's something that once made you feel nervous or anxious, but now, when you think about it, you can feel how calm begins to settle in. How the sense of calm, it allows you to see the situation for what it really is. Just another opportunity for growth. Can you see it? Can you feel it? As you reflect on this, you realize that calmness is not about perfection, but about acceptance. Acceptance of yourself and others, of the flow of life. It's mindfulness, being aware of what's happening right now without judgment. In fact, you might begin to notice how often your mind returns to the present moment, naturally noticing the details around you, becoming aware of how your body feels, noticing your breath, taking that deeper breath, feeling calm and relaxed more and more. As you experience this, you might remember how composure feels. When you remained calm under pressure, where you didn't rush or react, but instead simply responded. What if you could do that all the time? Imagine that every time you're faced with something that might once have caused you stress or worry, you choose to remain composed, because now you know remaining calm is within your power. It's all part of who you're becoming. As you choose composure, you choose to operate from a place of clarity, from a place of centeredness. You see, when you stay calm, you stay grounded. When you stay grounded, you see more clearly. And when you see more clearly, you're able to listen deeply, to really hear what others are saying, not just with your ears, but with your heart. You begin to understand that empathy comes naturally when you're calm. You start recognizing how your response to others, the way you listen, the way you engage, creates a space for others to feel seen, heard, and valued. And as you continue to feel calm, you'll notice something else. Humour becomes a tool that you use, not to deflect, not to avoid, but to help others to feel lighter, more at ease. In a way of reminding yourself and those around you that life doesn't have to be taken too seriously. You can find joy even in the most difficult moments, finding humour to diffuse tension, to shift the energy, to bring people close together. Isn't it fascinating how these qualities, the sense of calmness, composure and empathy, they're all interwoven? It's like you're reprogramming your mind to naturally access these resources anytime that you need them. And you can do this effortlessly, without even thinking about it. You can just know that your behaviour, it'll reflect these values. Active listening, non-reactivity, and healthy routines. What if, as you move through your day, you automatically prioritise your time? You find yourself choosing what truly matters, focusing on tasks that bring you peace, and moving away from overwhelm. Imagine taking a deep breath, visualising a successful outcome, and calmly moving to each challenge with the certainty that everything will fall into place. You already know, don't you, that time management, choosing what to focus on, creates peace. You can see how that works. And just like that, your daily routine becomes a ritual for relaxation. A consistent practice of things that bring you peace, whether that's meditation, deep breathing, or exercise. Because the body and the mind, they're so deeply connected, aren't they? As you continue to care for one, the other naturally follows. Now reflect on how problem solving becomes easier when you're calm. Challenges, they seem less like threats and more like opportunities. Can you imagine yourself approaching every challenge with a clear mind, solving problems with a steady hand? Isn't it true, when you act from that place, solutions, they just seem to appear? It all becomes so simple, doesn't it? How you establish your boundaries, not to control others, but to protect your own peace, to guard your energy, so you can give your best, without feeling overwhelmed or drained. It's all about knowing your limits, respecting them, and in turn respecting others. And every time you reflect on your thoughts and emotions, every time you take the time to process your feelings instead of suppressing them, you grow even more. Every time you choose to see a challenge as an opportunity, you become stronger, more resilient. Your resilience becomes your strength, your superpower, and you become more adaptable, able to respond with grace, curiosity, and open-mindedness, knowing that there's always more options. And now let's pause for a moment. Notice how your mind begins to reframe challenges, to shift perspectives in ways that feel empowering. Every setback becomes a lesson, a chance to learn, to grow, and to step into a greater version of yourself. You might find yourself noticing that life has a funny way of guiding you to exactly what you need. Failure doesn't exist, does it? It's only feedback, showing you the way forward. What if all of this right now? It's not just a set of beliefs, but an operating system you can install. What if you're already absorbing this way of being? Feel how deeply these ideas are becoming part of you, and naturally they fit with who you've always been. Calm, composed, clear, optimistic, mindful, and always growing. And just like that, you begin to realize you're a beacon of authenticity. Your calmness attracts others. You begin to notice how energy is magnetic, how you create opportunities by being yourself, by simply living your truth. You don't need permission. You create your own destiny starting right now. Let's take a moment and feel the ease of this process, the natural flow of calmness, clarity and strength. Notice how each new belief that you've integrated today is already becoming your new reality. With every word you hear, you're rewiring your brain, making calmness your default setting, your natural way of operating in the world. And you can always come back to this state. With every breath, every thought, you effortlessly return to calm. This is your new operating system, and it works for you automatically, naturally.